Good morning, gamers. This is a brand new game, I think. Well, not really brand new to me. I have about 3,200 hours in it. However, I don't really make videos on this game, but probably should. Anyways, this is Path of Exile, if you don't know what that is. Very good ARPG, check it out. I am currently in the Ancestor League, SSF, as you might see right here, meaning you cannot trade with other players or interact with them in your party and all that stuff. Entirely solo, it's the best way to play the game. New league came out about a a couple days ago, so like to give those a little bit of time to marinate, go through a couple of builds, see if the new changes and the new mechanics are all cool, and all that kind of stuff. As you can see, I've already made 3 characters. A chieftain, which was, I'll go over these real quick. A chieftain, I saw the rework and I knew it was going to be bad. I fully expected it to be bad. This build was Sunder, Ignite, and then I tried some strike things out like Infernal Blow and Molten Strike, Volcanic Fissure. I just tried like every melee skill I could think of to do Ignite with, and it ended up being pretty shit. Probably, honestly, on a good day, I probably had like 50 to 100k DPS. Like, I probably had more than Quinn, but it's still it fell off at like T4, T5s, and I just ended up rerolling this quite soon after I realized there was nothing going for it. The next build, more trauma than DPS. Oh yeah, the names. So Chieftain work D4. If you get it, you get it. More trauma than DPS. This character was yet another Marauder, and again I rolled it soon after I realized the Ignite melee dream was absolutely just atrocious. You know, maybe somebody could figure it out. That was my best Chieftain attempt, so whatever, it was pretty shit. Don't copy it. But this build was a copy of Garatha's Frost Hammer. What's that ability called? Glacial Hammer, Frost Breath. I was mixing them up with trauma support on a jug, so you get insane recovery, very, sustainable tankiness from just Juggernaut Ascendancy as a whole, and a little bit of quality of life, like the attack speed, can't be slowed, stunned, frozen, all that good stuff. And this one I did end up getting pretty far. I got a Frost Breath from Katava, which kind of was like supposedly the best in slot weapon of this character. But I do think Brightbeak would be better, just in terms of like gear. I'd probably like to try it out at least, but this felt very underwhelming. However, I didn't have Heat Shiver. Was missing just a lot of damage. It felt like I was almost immortal. Like by the time I was in yellowish maps, my slash deaths were like 6, because once you get like the armor as Ellie and then like the insane recoup from the trauma self-damage, you kind of have like 2,000 to 3,000 health regen per second, even under like really terrible gear. But again, it was just not enough damage for my liking. I don't think I could have killed anything in a reasonable time. I did the 2, the Black Star and the other guy, Infinite Hunger. Killed the quest guys, but it took way too long. Like, I got dragged under on that one boss, the Hunger guy. He dragged me under like 3 or 4 times. Like, the damage was pitiful. I would say, on a good day, probably 200k DPS, like tops. Ugh, it was rough. But after that failed, I rerolled yet again because I want to play some poison. I've never played Exsanguinate before, so was down to give it a try. And this is actually the build I'm currently still playing after, let's see, played deaths. 22 hours into this character, 33 deaths. He's fairly tanky. So, oh, let me just change my sound because I can't hear anything. Okay. So, here's what we got going on here. I guess I can go through the gear and all the items and all that stuff. Basic wand. All I really have so far, I'm trying to get an obliteration right now, which is why I'm doing all these white maps. Trying to get some sulfite and then go get the cards, because that will add a lot of damage and quality of life to it. But basically this is just dot multi, cast speed, everything else is like whatever. Not the best thing. This is pretty terrible. I need like cold iron point for better ring. Helmet. I've worn this since like level 28. I really don't want to take it off for the onslaught. It's too good. But I do have a silver flask I could easily put in place of life flask. I'm hardly pressing this anyway. Amulet we got. I don't know. I got this really early too. Just flat life, fractured, T1. And then I've been using this on like every character, just changing the anoint basically. This one gives you much needed poison chance and little damage over time multi. So nothing special. I don't really need the mana cost. I should recraft this and try to get dot multi, to be honest. But otherwise, it does what it does. I think I'm way overcapped on res anyway. So taking this off wouldn't matter actually. So shield we got. I just picked this up and I never rolled this, but it had a lot of flat life regen, which is like one of our only ways of recovering life outside of this just like leeching from the glove implicit here. But this regen does feel very nice. I hardly ever die mapping, unless I just like literally AFK and get hit by a really big poison attack or something. Two rings we got. This is very interesting. I didn't know that this ring didn't have a mana cost for the hex. So I put this on like very early, I don't know, yeah, level 24, and I was just hexing things without paying the mana cost. Because right here you see it says it costs mana, but it really doesn't feel like it. So I'm wondering if maybe I just have a lot of mana regen. I don't notice it, but it's just a very good curse. It's a curse on hit. I would definitely replace it with a curse on hit ring or something, but you know, we're on a budget here again. This ring actually, Kikazaru. This gives you like 270-ish like flat life regen that only goes up per level, which is like wearing like a vitality aura and a half, or maybe 2 vitality auras. Just very much needed regen for the build. Been wearing this again since level 20. If I were to replace it, these 2 rings would become Ming's Hearts, or at least one of them would. I would probably replace this one first though. But I don't know if that ring even exists for solo players. Chest, we did get this very early. Lightning Coil, very nice chest for fizz mitigation. The idea is, you know, you convert it to lightning damage, and then you use a topaz flask here to then mitigate that damage even further. So it's a little more than it actually does on normal builds. Gets reduced to 75, the fizz hit, and then it gets reduced again by whatever my flask effect is, times, you know, the 20% less from this. Probably ends up being, I haven't done Shaper yet, but I think I could just like sit there and eat a slam and be totally fine with that combo. Gloves, just a random rare that I found with Chaos Res. I think I just like rolled Harvest on these like once or something and landed some whatever implicits. The gloves I think are the best is like Asenath's obviously, but I don't think any glove is like mandatory. Mostly upgrades are like rings and weapons if I can get a dual wield thing going. For the belt we got the Immortal Flesh. This is just another good regen belt. We don't really care about the -15 at all, so very good. Just for, it's even a low roll. I could probably toss a divine at this. See if we can get like 300 something regen. But again, I'm not even dying, so I don't need that. Maybe if I start doing crazy stuff. For the boots, pretty bad base, but I got fractured movement speed really early. Fractures have been like #1 thing to find on my list here. Just makes crafting so much easier. These implicits are pretty terrible. I'd like to get action speed instead of the totem thing, but whatever. It's got a nice life roll, suppress, caps me almost. So it's pretty good. Standard issue flasks here. We got the life flask that I barely press. Sapphire, Ruby, and Topaz. These have either increased duration or charge recovery. And this, I don't know if I need this one anymore to 34. I think I do though. So this gives you like all your res basically. If I take these off, you'll see I'm down bad. I would literally walk into a T1 and just get clapped. So these are literally equivalent to like plus 150 LE res or something when they're all running, and they're all 100% uptime. So that one gives you more res. As you can see, puts me up to positive, and then this one gives you evasion rating and much needed cast speed for the skill, which is Exsanguinate. And then just going over some random stuff, I guess. The links. I'm not even using all the links yet because I obviously don't have a 6 link, but just getting the classic Flame Dash here. I was using Frostblink, but I took it out because I died one time because it was on cooldown after I Withering Stepped, so instantly took it out and destroyed it. Steel Skin on left click. I don't know how I'm feeling about this. Sometimes it turns off your Withering Step when you don't want it to, but it does make you immune to bleeding and also probably makes you tankier. I haven't like tanked something that I shouldn't have tanked with this, but I'm sure I could pop this for like Shaper and live. And then you link this to an Arcane Surge. So if you just Arcane Surge, or you Flame Dash once, you get Arcane Surge, gets increased cast speed. And that's why this is level 1, because it doesn't matter what the mana cost is as long as it's above 15 or equal to spending 15, and this will always proc it because it's 20. Simple. Helmet's got a bunch of random crap in it. We got Malevolence, Despair, leveling a Spell Echo because I think that's like a single target swap if I ever get a 6 link, and then an empty red, and just gonna, you know what, we're gonna level something up here. Let's level up some inspiration. So Frost Bomb in the shield for those pesky no regen guys, because sometimes this game they'll create some abomination that just like runs you down, and yeah, you sometimes can't out DPS it. It happens, even to the best of us. So turns off the regen, psh, easy. Herald Agony for the poison chance and more damage. I don't think I could even drop this unless I got Dendrobate, which at that point I don't know what else I'd run. Probably just haste in the main links and then like a blessing of some kind. Grace for some evasion rating. And then this is the main damage. Only got a 5 link because I'm not spending fusings. I'm poor. Exsanguinate, Void Manip, Unbound, Chain, Deadly Ailments. You can swap Chain for like another damage link on single target only fights. I would prefer this to be a blue socket though, but whatever. And then I was leveling Spell Cascade just in case I wanted to do some crazy shit later. I'm not even using Vitality, but this is still in here because I want to level it. This will probably be like maybe put on Life Aura. I don't know. I don't even know how you put this in. We got Plague Bearer linked to item rarity. Basically, I'll kill like half the map with this, so it ends up being a lot of increased rarity. I don't know if it's super noticeable, but it's definitely good because the skill does kill things more than probably you think. Withering Step just for some elusive phasing action and also some withered just to start your ramp really early. And then in the shoes, I just tried, or just put this in here actually, seismic trap. I have no trap nodes on the entire tree, but the skill's damage is kind of nice, so I always felt like I needed a supplemental little burst of damage, but still haven't really gotten a feel for this because it's been like 2 maps that I've had it in, but linked it to some chance to poison, unbound, and AoE. Again, I don't even have trap nodes. This is probably not going to be permanent, but let's go ahead and I was going to do a quick delve node. I guess I'm going to show you what that looks like. Trying to farm those obliteration cards here. I don't know what I was even doing down here. I can probably find the cards like early. I don't want to farm too deep and then not be able to find them, you know? I'm also trying to save some sulfite. We can go here. Mines level 75. I know it's pretty dangerous, but I believe we can do it. So basically, you don't really push any buttons except for right click when you want to. Everything just kind of gets dotted up with the chains and all that, so you don't really have to think too much about like aiming. But yeah, it's a pretty chill build. It's just a little lacking in the single target right now, in my opinion. But I don't think Delve is very single targety unless you get a boss. Like doing maps, some of these essence mobs and other abominations are quite impossible to kill, it feels like. Yeah, so pretty basic. You have permanent flasks, like I said. Are these good? No. You got permanent flasks, you're just kind of running around right-clicking. If you want to, you can pop Plague Bearer and literally not right-click at all, like this. And things will just kind of melt. Except for rares. Unless you have 2 curses on them or something. Yeah, I'm already out of juice, boys. So I'll do some regular T1 boring maps, and ain't nobody want to watch that. Unless